Hi everybody, it's Jane from Jane Stitches. How are you today? What I want to show you guys how to make, and I'm already using this one, is this little teeny tiny spool pincushion. I have quite a collection of wooden spools with thread, some without thread on them, but I love them, and whenever I see them available, I have to have them. So what I think I saw it, of course, on Pinterest, is just this little teeny tiny circular pincushion that you hot glue to these wooden spools. And this is such a great way to use up small scraps of fabric. Of course, I have bags and bags, and I'm always looking for something. So go out, go through your wooden spools, decide what side you want to put the hot glue, right? These I just keep thinking would make really cute, like mushroom pincushions, and you can do like a red, one side red and one side white, and make a cute little mushroom. And then you can make little teeny ones. How adorable would that be? Oh my God, what a great gift. And I'll tell you how to do it. So what I have found when I'm making these, and I have some of the little tops made here. Look at how cute. I just am really getting into this tiny stuff. But when you're making them, the circle of fabric, right? What did I just do with that? Should be about 1/4 of an inch wider, right? All the way around. So these would be fine for like my little tiny one. You see how that goes about probably a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch diameter. So a few ways you can do this. You can find a spool that is 1/4 of an inch wider all the way around and trace this. Use this as your circle. I, of course, have these Pops, I think they're called, and I have found that this is the perfect size for this size spool, right? It's a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. Or you can get your compass, right? And you just put that right in the middle, and as you can see there, that's about 1/4 of an inch beyond, and that would make my circle. I have seen these compasses at Goodwill all over the place, and they're really great. You can make giant circles, or you can make little teeny tiny ones, so don't pass that up. It's a great tool to have in your arsenal. So I'm going to grab some, let me move this out of the way. Oh, and let me tell you what we're going to need, or what I'm using. I'm using my friction pen, as always. My Pop. I'm going to use some of my silk buttonhole twist to sew around, make those little sections. They look like a little pumpkin. You can use embroidery floss. You can use this pearl cotton would be really nice too. Anything that's strong enough to handle it. And of course, I'm using something to fill. You could use wool. I've got some polyfill here. And you need a needle, a regular sewing needle. Where's my sewing needle? Is over here. And I'm using I don't know, oh my God, is it a chenille needle? But you need to use an embroidery needle that's got a pointed end, not a round end to it. So I'm going to push this all aside. I'm also using, which I love, is my patchwork board, my clover board. I had one when I started quilting when I was in my, I think I was 27, pregnant with my twins. and I needed a hobby while I was pregnant, and I found a great quilt store near me, and went down there and started quilting, and they know I loved hand quilting. So the owner, Ellen, it was wonderful, suggested this, and my first one finally wore out. I'm almost 62 now, so I bought this one a few years ago, but it's indispensable. So you can do fussy cuts, but honestly, you're going to be putting a little button in the middle, so think about what you want on the outside, or the, not in the center, because it's going to be covered up. But for now, I'm just going to wing it. So I'm going to go on the outside. And I got my Alapops on eBay. Let's see, something over here. Maybe this part. And I'm using a quilting cotton, but you could use linen. It would be beautiful. Wool, but make sure it's not a really loosely woven wool. All right. And then we just cut these out. And these scissors, these are lefty gingers that I have had since I was 27. And they are amazing. They cut like they did the first day I got them. There's one. You can also, if you have the AccuQuilt Go, I bet they have a circle die, right? I'm thinking that these would be wonderful, wonderful gifts for sewing people. Who wouldn't want to get this adorable little pincushion? Okay, so I've got that done. Right side's facing. So you see what we're going to see here, right? And if you want, you could go around and kind of put little dots at 1/4 of an inch in. I find that a little bit tedious. So I'm just going to pin it and eyeball it. It is important. I know I say this all the time. But the smaller the stitches, the better, because we're really going to be stuffing this. And if you look, you can see, where's the camera? You could see the thread. It would have been better if I used a red thread for this, but I didn't. So you can always tell, that it's handmade. You can think about it that way. So just put your needle in. Again, I'm eyeballing like a scant 1/4 of an inch. Going around, just make it as consistent as you can. Doing a little back stitch there. And then you just go around. Don't get caught on your pen. Like this. And I just unthreaded my needle. But there you go. So I'm not going to make you watch me. I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to leave a little bit over an inch so we could turn this inside out. When I'm done with sewing, make sure you back stitch as you get to the end, because turning this inside out is going to put a little pressure on those stitches. But when I'm done with that, I'll meet you back here for the next step. It's all sewn all the way around. I did a back stitch on both sides. And then before I turn it inside out, I've just kind of finger pressed back a little bit around. It's just to make the ladder stitch easier. I just press it back like this. All right, and then I'm gonna use my chopstick to help me turn this inside out. I lost my straw, my grandson's straw. So I just kind of pushed, pulled that out, started to push it in, put the chopstick in there. And then there it is. I'm just so addicted to making pincushions lately. And I do have them everywhere. I've got this one with me all the time. I have, where is it? This one all the time because I've got all my needles in there that I use. So pincushions are just so important because we don't want pins floating around. All right, I'm just running the end of the chopstick gently. We don't want to push through our stitches, just around. And it looks a little wonky. I remember the first one I made, I'm like, oh my God, it looks so perfectly round and now it doesn't. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. Now just take your, whatever fill you're using, start it, and I just use the square end of this bamboo chopstick. Fill that in. And I prefer when things are really nicely filled, not, I don't want to see any kind of puckers or anything. I just like them firmly filled. And it's amazing how much fill these little shapes can take. This one doesn't want to go in. It's kind of like pushing it back out at me. All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to make you watch me. But again, it looks wonky. This is not filled up enough. You see how, it's kind of a little wrinkled still. So I'm going to keep on going, and then I'll come back here and show you how to do the ladder stitch and then make our little sections with the silk thread. Time to close this up, but it's like a nice little plump turtle. So I have my threaded needle. I'm just going to go in about a stitch back. And then we're going to do the ladder stitch. So what side did I come out on? And again, got a lot of threads in here. This does not have to be perfect. And believe you me, as my mother would have said, this is not perfect. Back and forth. And you give it a pull. I don't know what that little thread is, but I can cut that off. It's actually threads from the fabric. Sometimes I'll press it down like that. All right, it looks crazy, I know, but just trust the process, as they say, right? So I'm gonna do like I did at the beginning, go back in to some of the already stitched stitches like that. And then I'm gonna make a knot and another. And then just go in to the fabric, come out, pop it through, and then cut. And yeah, it doesn't look round, but again, I remember when I made the first one, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure, that doesn't look good. All right, it will. Now what you're gonna do, to be helpful, and I don't normally do this, I don't know why I don't do it. Where's my pen? But take a pen or a pencil. Oh, how do I lose this stuff? We'll use a pencil. And you can make a knot, a dot right in the middle. So you don't, get lost. You really want to have this centered where your needle's going to go in. And I'm eyeballing it. And then I've got my embroidery needle. I will look up and see what these are called. Knotted. I have a nice big knot at the end. And I think I want this as my top. I think that's really pretty. So I'm gonna start at the bottom, go through, come up through the dot I made. And then there's two ways to do this. You could come around and go in again, or go all the way around and go down. I do it, I'm like really haphazard about it. Let's try it this way. And you have to make sure you like where it is and then give it a pull. You see what happens. And then I'm going to go the opposite side, go through those two dots that we made and give that a pull. And that's the challenge, is to keep this taut. So I could go all the way around. Let's see how that is. Right, so I'm not going in and coming up. I'm just going all the way around the bottom. And give that a pull. And then you just have to keep going. sure you have enough thread, floss, pearl cotton, whatever you're using, on your needle to go all the way around. All right, so there it is. Now what I want to do is grab my button. Okay, so I'm keeping this taut. Of course, I didn't put that in front of me. We'll use, let's see, I have a little teeny mother of pearl button. So I have to come up. And of course you can enlarge this, you know, and make a large version of this. So I'm coming up and then going back down through the holes again. See how cute that looks? Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go through a couple more times. So I come up again, give it a good pull. The silk is really strong. And then go down. And look at that, super cute. And then we just want to knot this off. Oh, there we go. So I go under a couple of the threads. Make a knot. And then I do this kind of knot that you see me do over and over again. And I'm gonna cut it off. Don't cut it too close because we want to get this kind of caught up in the hot glue. So I'm just gonna, I left about a ½ inch. So this is really adorable. Now, if we want to adjust our little threads, just put your eye of your embroidery needle underneath and you can just kind of finesse if it didn't come out as even as you want. I can press this down a little bit. Now, and make them as even as you can get them if you want. I think they're really sweet. They look like just like little cushions. Where is my, where's my, there it is. All right, so I think I'm gonna leave this one. I think it's really beautiful, this side, where it's kind of embossed in there. And I'm gonna glue it down on the paper side. Yeah, this is down pretty well. It might pop off. If I was giving it as a gift, I might remove a little bit of the label so that the hot glue goes onto the wood. But look at how cute this is going to be, right? So I'm gonna go heat up my hot glue gun and I'll meet you back here and show you how I've got my hot glue gun that I haven't used in ages. Not since I did this little pincushion. So what I think I'm gonna do is put my blob in the middle of the bottom of our little disc here. And I'm gonna put this color on here. I just think that's a really pretty combination. So I'm gonna turn this over, put a blob, if I can get it to come out. Put that down. And then just center this and press. Just hold that down for a few seconds. And there it is. How cute is that? And bonus, if you leave thread on your spool, if you have thread on your spool, it can be used to sew with, which I use vintage thread all the time. So there it is, you guys, how to make these absolutely adorable little miniature spool pincushions. And I have to do this one. Look at this color, right? And this is a smaller spool, and I made kind of a bigger pincushion, but I think that's really sweet. So I'll be doing that one too, since I've got the hot glue gun ready to go. Give it a shot. As always, please ask any questions in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm so excited to bring you guys what I've been working on, how to make stuff, and all that good things. And remember, we're headed into the holidays. It's almost Thanksgiving. Have you started your gift sewing yet? Are you going to be making handmade gifts? Let me know in the comments. I definitely am. And stuff like this, for people who appreciate it, right? For people who sew, I think this would just be a treasured gift that they can keep, and a little heirloom gift that they can keep and actually use. So give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. Thanks, you guys. See you next time.